Come on and shine, shine, shine. Las Vegas, shine your light on me.
Welcome to Las Vegas Tonight. Join award-winning host Dale Davidson as he interviews the most remarkable people you'll find in the entertainment capital of the world. You'll meet entertainers, sports figures, newsmakers, community and business leaders, and people just like you with stories that'll touch your heart. Now, here's Dale Davidson.
Welcome to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. Each and every episode of our wonderful program, we bring you wonderful guests. And we've certainly outdone ourselves this time. The second member of the Sorbo family is about to be on Las Vegas Tonight. He's probably the most popular within his family. Braeden Sorbo. Braeden, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. We appreciate it. I don't know about the most popular. I mean, my dog is pretty cool. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Your mom was on the show yesterday, Sam, and she just was singing your praises, you know, talking about this is a perfect example of a homeschooled young man who has decided that he's not going to go to college, at least initially, right? Mm-hmm. And I want you to explain why. And he's an actor. Mm-hmm. He's got a podcast. Yeah, he's got a podcast. You look a lot like your dad. You got your mom in you too, but there's a lot of Kevin in the face there.
Yeah, I heard that's how genes work. I take it as a compliment. He's a good-looking guy.
He is a good-looking guy.
I have no complaints in that department.
He is a good-looking guy. Tell us how you enjoyed homeschooling versus school, because your mom said you're the eldest, right?
Yeah.
Your mom said you did both, right?
I did.
You were the one who did both.
I was the guinea pig, yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
It was started, I went to public school for up until third grade, and it got to the point where my mom would ask the teacher, how's he doing in his school? And she answered immediately, oh, not very well. And she's like, well, then why is he going to school here? What's the reason for the job? And she always thought that she would never be capable of homeschooling because, I mean, that takes work. That's what the teachers are supposed to do. Right. But she ended up working with me on my book reports and my math homework and stuff like that, and I started doing well in school. And then the teacher told her, oh, I put him next to the troubled kid in class and he helped him. And she's like, okay, but that's your job. He's not supposed to be fixing your problems for you. You're supposed to be taking care of that yourself.
It's not all about behavior.
Exactly. She thought, well, I've been homeschooling this whole time. That was kind of her epiphany. And she thought, let me try to do it full time. So she pulled me out of school, public school, and we started just homeschooling at home. Which is what a lot of people do. But then we eventually joined some curriculums and some courses and stuff like that, where we went to a once-a-week little Bible study type thing. We went to once a week. So the school that we do now, or did now, was called Classical Conversations.
Oh, okay. That's the curriculum?
That was the curriculum, yeah.
Okay,
and what that did was it was a once-a-week group where kids get together, they have a tutor, and then the parents do the rest at home. So you meet once a week to grade work and to go over and to have discussions and stuff like that. So you get the social aspect of it all. But the rest of it's at home, which is nice, because I could sleep in till 8 and then be done with my homework before kids are out of public school, which I've always had as a plus and something that
then go play soccer or whatever you felt like doing.
Brag about it to my friends. Hey, I got out of school at noon today. What about you? Oh, well, I have homework till 7. And it's
You know what's interesting about homeschooled kids, and I teach at a Christian university 2 days a week down in San Diego, and 60%.
They have those in San Diego?
Yeah,
Christian universities?
Imagine that. And they're great kids to start with, you know, respectful, nice, you know, all of that. And yet, homeschooled kids typically are the brightest kids you run across. They really are. They're always winning the spelling bee and the math bee nationally and all that sort of thing. So it's got to be working. I mean, you know, anecdotal evidence would say, if you win the spelling bee every year, a homeschool kid, they must be getting the basics. And I think parents are feeling a little insecure, you know, like your mom was at the beginning, about trying to do this, right? Yeah.
There's always the fear of, I don't know if I can do it, so I'm just going to send them to the school system. And then you got to realize that school system turned out you, who thinks that you are incapable of teaching a third grader math, right? So why would you put your kid back into the system that brainwashed you to think that you couldn't do third grade math? I mean,
I understand.
You got to have that it's a switch. You got to have the switch go off, and then it's realizing, you know what, I can do this. It's not, for starters, it's not like that hard. People don't give kids enough credit. We're very self-sufficient. Once we get on track, we get on track, we're set. My siblings right now.
Tell me about them and their experience now.
Yeah, so my brother is 15 and my sister's 13.
Okay.
And so it's gotten to the point where they have their curriculum. My mom gives them a checklist of what they have to do, and they do it. And then what she has is she has her answer keys, and she can go over and grade everything, and that's it. It's not that hard. Once you get us on the right track, kids are able to go and do whatever, right? So we're very independent, and people don't seem to realize that, which is what I kind of hope to bring into the spotlight. So that's what homeschooling's done for me in particular. Now, I never was the brightest with math or chemistry or anything like that.
You and me both.
I liked cutting things open.
There's no left brain thing with me,
Oh, no, not at all. I liked cutting things open in biology. That was my favorite thing. I would mess around and goof around and cut up all the animals in my no one wanted to be my lab partner until the 1 week I didn't have a lab partner, so I did it perfectly just to show them all that I could.
That you knew how to do it and what the tendons were. And
no, I never knew what any of it was. I just knew how to cut it open, which was kind of cool. I can't be a surgeon, though. I don't think I'd be very good at that. I'd have too much fun.
Let's cut this off and see what happens. See if it still works.
Exactly. My favorite one was we had biology all through sophomore year of high school, so 10th grade. I remember because every kid gets to dissect like the fetal pig and stuff like that.
I remember.
The problem was they'd freeze dried the pigs, so they were like frozen flat.
That's too weird.
You couldn't get it open.
Yeah.
And I went to, so I've always wanted to become an actor, and I went to an acting class every day right after school.
Right.
So I had an epiphany. I'm not going to be able to dissect the pig, but what if I could take a piece of it to class? So what I did was I cut the little legs off, and this was the homeschooling aspect of it all. I'm like, I am smart enough to do this. So I got the legs, and I brought them to class, and I had a blast. And if I was in public school, there was no way I'd be able to do that. Kids are forced to follow the exact curriculum, and they're not allowed to have any fun with it. So with the homeschooling aspect, I was able to go bring some pig legs and throw them at my friends during an improv in class and have a blast.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And my siblings my brother's gonna get to experience that this year. I hope that he tries to do what I did. I mean, maybe not everything because
You've been blazing the trail, Braeden. Come
I know.
on. Let him do it.
Well, it just hit me that may not have been the best thing to do. But it's always been a blast. And homeschooling, people don't give it enough credit.
Yeah.
People think that all homeschoolers are unsocial. I was at a convention with my parents, and I had a lady come up to us. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you're homeschooled. Well, what's that like? Are you unsocial or anything?" I said, "Yeah, I dissect dogs and cats in the basement. I was just let out for this weekend only." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, are you real?" I said, "No, I'm joking."
It's like a gag, lady.
It is. It's a misconception that people have of homeschoolers, and we need to break that mold. And it's fun. People think public school is where all the fun's at. It's really not.
Yeah.
So homeschooling, my siblings are going to have a blast, whether you're an introvert like my sister who likes to sit back, draw, and dance in a room and do her own thing. For the record, she's an amazing artist and everything. But my brother, who wants to build things and create things, is a little bit more active in his class. It doesn't matter what your personality type is. Homeschoolers invite everyone and welcome everyone and are very, very social. I like to think we're fun to be around. I know there are some homeschoolers that aren't, but my class, I have
Well, there's some people, period, that aren't fun. So,
exactly.
What does that have to do with it, right?
Yeah. Very true. I had a blast with my class. And
that's wonderful.
I've had so much fun growing up with them and stuff like that. And you have bullying and stuff like that, which every school does. But there's the aspect of in public school, you have groups.
Sure.
Right, like where kids divide up into their own little section. Like you have the cool kids
cliques.
and you have the nerds and stuff like that. Here, you're just one group. So you split up for lunch or to do a project or whatever.
Right.
But everyone's in class together, working together. And the great thing about it is you don't necessarily pick your partner. The teacher assigns it so that you learn to work with different people who think differently and have different ideas. And that's what I love about it all. Because you don't ever stick to one specific kind of mold.
Okay. And clearly because of the way homeschooling is structured today, you're not just at home. No. I mean, you have you got pals, you meet together, there's a teacher that works with you, there's sports, there's field trips. It sounds like the best of all worlds, really.
It's really kind of freeing. I'll drive by a school on the way to the gym or something. We just moved to Florida and I'm driving to the gym and I see this school and it looks like a prison. It's just, it's like if someone built it in Minecraft and then switched it over to the real world. It's just blocks upon blocks, and it doesn't look it doesn't look appealing to go to. And I look at that, I think 5 days a week, even more because of extra curricular stuff.
Yeah,
Kids go to that school, and that is where they are confined for 8 hours a day.
Wow.
So they go there, they leave at 6:30 in the morning and don't come back till 4 o'clock, 3:30. That's if they don't play sports or anything. So they don't see their parents hardly in the morning. A quick breakfast, get on the bus, go. And then they come back and maybe see their parents for 20 minutes during dinner, but they're watching TV and they don't talk at all. And then they go up to the room and no one talks, and there's no connection with the family. And the school that's what the school is kind of trying to do now. And they're doing a very successful job at it.
Yeah, that's strange. Both of your siblings have gone entirely through the homeschooling. They were not guinea pigs.
They did kindergarten.
Oh,
my mom put them in kindergarten just to test the social aspect of public school for them. Because I'm very social. I'm the most social one in my family, especially out of the kids. My siblings are both introverted, my sister more than my brother, but they don't want to be with people. They just want to do their own thing. Like they'll have their 3 friends, and that's all they really care about. But with homeschooling, I have
kids like that too. I got 4 sons. And they're all custom. They're all different.
With homeschooling, it brings out something. Right? So we moved to New York, and my sister halfway through the school year. So she's joining into the same type of curriculum and same type of class. But they're halfway through. They're doing something slightly different than what we had in California. And she joined in, she made 3 friends, she had a blast, and it was simple, it was easy. Just the welcoming aspect and the integration of just letting people come in to join, right? I mean, they don't have that in public school. You join a class, good luck catching up. Right? Like if you join late, you have you're on your own. But you join the homeschool class, you're late, all right, fine. Like you're falling behind on some math or something, you can catch up eventually. I had a friend who didn't get his math book until halfway through the first semester, and he caught up because he could. There was no restraint of 8 hours a day of doing different subjects. He could focus on math for one day and another
get caught up.
And there's very little tension, especially on the brain, which is really important because the stress levels that teenagers face right now are the same stress levels. Stress levels that would put a person in an insane asylum back in the 1950s and 60s.
Wow.
The brain pattern and stress levels. People,
is that right?
Yeah. Teenagers are just under stress, and they have so much pressure put on them right now by school, by everything, that
social media's got to play a huge part of this, right?
You know what? Social media does play a part in it if you let it. That's the big thing. People just generalize often and say social media is the problem behind it. It's not. Social media can be the problem behind it, but often it's just friend groups, right? Like growing up in homeschool, I was bullied a little bit.
Were you?
Yeah, from 7th grade up until sophomore year of high school. And it took a toll on me because I realized, wow, why do these kids hate me? What's the point of it? And then I realized, I'm the only one in the class who could take it and not have the pressure. Because I'm a very happy person generally. So the whole idea of them trying to push me down, if they did it to any other kid in the class who's not as social as me, I'm just very social, so I like to talk. To any kid who doesn't like to talk already, you push him down, you completely destroy, you crush the flame, you isolate him. People laughing at my clothes or what I had for a haircut if it was a bad haircut or anything, right? Took a toll until I realized that I'm the only one who could do it. And then it became it's fine, it'll go away eventually, right? So I don't let it.
That's very wise for that
people
age.
Don't let it. People let it bother them, and that's the most important thing to not do. If you let it bother you, that's the problem. That's why we have all these problems. I mean, kids are getting bullied in public school, and the problem is they're showing that it bothers them. And the bullies don't know anything better because the public school system teaches them survival of the fittest. So what are they going to do? They're going to push down the weakest and keep on going. You need to be taught survival of the fittest, not in the aspect of Darwinism, but more in the Christian aspect where we could survive kind of together, which I hate because that gets into the whole liberal, everyone's included, stuff like that, but you know what I mean.
I do know. And we're going to talk about Christianity, and we're going to discuss your whole family dynamic. What's it like to grow up in a family with famous parents and all that jazz.
Part of the reason I was bullied was because of that. They're like, oh, you're just the rich kid and stuff like that. It's, you know what, you have to let it slide, because kids are mean, but at the same time, it has to do from the home, right?
Yes,
And that's the integration of family. The parents aren't involved enough to realize that the kids are doing something wrong. I realized, the reason why I realized it was because my parents found out and they held an intervention with the other parents, and the kids who were bullying me were there, and they were sweating bullets.
Yeah.
Because they were afraid of what their parents were going to do to them.
See.
And then I realized.
Oh.
That's why.
Well, you got through it, and obviously it didn't hurt you.
No, I keep a very.
Strengthened you a little
It
bit.
did. I keep a very positive mindset about everything.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing to do as a teenager, because there's so much going on with social media and the news and everything going on around our country and in it, that we feel pressure we feel the pressure to perform, to be the generation, because everyone says, man, the millennials, they blew it, you're the generation to do it. We're like, oh God, that's a lot of pressure, what are we gonna do? We don't know what we're gonna do. And that's why people think it's social media or anything like that, you know? It's not necessarily us being on social media, it's everyone putting these like ideas that we have to do this, that, and whatever.
You don't have to do anything.
Well, we got to do something.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
But
Braeden is terrific, isn't he? We're going to take a brief break. He's a walking, living, breathing example of how homeschooling can work. And we're going to talk about Christianity and talk about your family and talk about your podcast and all that jazz. We'll be back with Braeden Sorbo right after these messages. The Lord has made it possible for our show, Las Vegas Tonight, to thrive. We've produced well over 300 episodes telling the remarkable stories of Christians who have set out to change the world for the better. It's my honor to lead this ministry. As the founder of Dale Davidson Ministries, I'm commanded to be a good steward of all the donations our partners have so generously provided to us. As you can imagine, it takes a great deal of money to keep this program on the air in the United States and around the world. Please prayerfully consider making a one-time donation or becoming a monthly partner of Dale Davidson Ministries. Just go to vegassaints.org and select Make a Donation, or send your check or money order made out to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada 89117. For more information, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you. And welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. We are fascinating everyone. We just are, because Braeden Sorbo is here, the son of Kevin and Sam Sorbo, famous actors, producers, directors, and he's a famous actor himself. Tell us about your role in the last movie your folks made.
So, a really brief, quick intro to why I got into acting was simply because of my parents. Growing up, we talked about how I was homeschooled and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've grown up on sets my whole life.
Yeah.
Because the deal that my mom had was, you're not allowed to be away from us for more than 2 weeks. So if you're set to be shooting a film for more than 2 weeks, we're coming with. And that's, so every movie that he did, where he'd be gone for more than 2 weeks, we would come and we would hang out on set every day. We'd get to know the people, the crew, whatever. I found a love for acting, because I was on the set and I'd be watching my dad. I'd be like, that's awesome. And you know, every kid views their dad as their hero and stuff like that. But he truly is my role model and my hero, and I want to be more famous and more successful than both my parents combined. And that's my that's my overall goal. And I told them that, and they said, good, we want you to have those dreams.
They were okay with that.
They said, we want you to be that, because that is our goal for you, and that's really. So that's how I got into acting. I originally told him, he said, oh God, no, you don't want to do that. But
that's the way parents usually are, no matter what the profession is.
Exactly. But he's since opened up to the idea, and I've been working with them on the past movies. We did Let There Be Light, which was a great Christian drama.
That's a terrific
Christmas
movie.
drama.
Yeah.
I had a blast filming that.
Yeah, I loved that movie.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. And then the most recent one, we just had we just did a little screening here last night.
I heard it was like the world premiere here.
It was the world premiere. It was Miracle in East Texas. It is a true story of one of the largest oil strikes in the history of America, based in the 1930s.
Right.
Two con men would go from town to town swindling widows out of their money for oil wells.
Right.
And what they would do is they would trick them into thinking the oil well was going to get more money, stuff like that, and eventually skip town.
Yeah, take the money and run.
Exactly. There's a problem.
And your dad was one of the con men.
He was one of the con men. The problem with the movie, the problem with it was one of the times they strike oil, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But it has got a great, funny. It's got a comedic element to it. It has got a dramatic element. It has got a romantic element. We've won at different film festivals. We've won Best Romantic Comedy, Best Family-Friendly Movie, which is great because it shows that it doesn't fit to one category specifically. They can't put us into one box, and I love it. And we were trying to show it last night. We filled up. It was like, it's a big room.
Yeah,
it's got like 100 chairs, maybe more. And we had overflow. We had to open the doors and put chairs into like the little back room for people to watch through the doors on.
Right.
And as we tried to play it, the movie started lagging and freezing and stuff, maybe 15 seconds in. And we're like, oh God, this is not good at all.
Yeah.
And
a Wi-Fi problem or something.
It was something. So we took the disc out, we cleaned it off, we cleaned the machine a little bit, and we put it back in, we played it, we're like, all right, we're good. And I thought to myself, well, I mean, if anything, we would have won Best Short Film.
I love it. That's funny.
So we've had a lot of fun with the movie, and the role that I played in it was I play kind of the interviewer. So I'm in the modern era of it, and I go to interview Lou Gossett Jr. Who in the movie is a little boy growing up in the town witnessing all this. So he's now an older man, and we're going to interview him for a school project, and he's telling us the story of the miracle in East Texas.
Okay, that's wonderful.
And it is a blast, and the best part of the movie, because I'm in it, the best part are
said modestly.
are the outtakes. We had such a blast filming on set. We have a bunch of outtakes as the credits are rolling, and you want to stay through the whole credits because we have something at the very, very end that's very funny. Okay. And so we said that.
So don't get up and leave the theater.
Don't you? I will find you. But I got up to introduce the movie, and I said, you got to stay for the credits, and people did, and it was laughing, and it was my first time seeing it too.
Oh, really?
Because every time, all the way through, because I've only seen the end credits, my bits and stuff for voiceover and stuff like that to make sure everything's good. But every time my parents would invite me to watch the whole movie, I said, I don't want to do it. I want to see it at a festival with a bunch of people for the first time to experience what they're experiencing. And let me tell you, my mom, oh man, she's a tearjerker. She has some great, great scenes, and my dad, you know what, they're my parents, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but everyone in the movie did a phenomenal job. We have John Ratzenberger, who is Cliff from Cheers. He's the voice in a bunch of Pixar movies. He's the
He's funny.
He's the truck that Lightning McQueen has to drive him around in cars. He's the piggy bank in Toy Story. He does all of the voices, one little voice in every Toy Story or every Pixar movie. He's in this movie as one of the con men. With my dad, and it is their duo that they have together. It just worked. The chemistry, you could tell that it works on screen, but what's great is it worked off screen too. Because when you're in a movie like that, it's important to have people that like each other.
Yeah, and they were having a ball.
I've been on sets with my parents my whole life, and I very rarely see a whole cast and crew get along. Because everyone's like, oh man, I want this and this and this. Because you could have a great person who sets up lighting, and then the cameraman does an awesome job, and the director does a bad job and the movie's ruined. This movie, we had a phenomenal crew that just worked flawlessly. It was one thing after another. We were going left to right, shot to shot, and we just filmed the movie, and it turned out so well. I'm so excited to once it comes out. I'm very excited for it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So everyone, you got to go.
Yeah, I have to go. Miracle in East Texas. It should be coming out in the next year.
Okay.
We're finishing up the financing for P&A. We're still trying to get that because people don't realize it costs a lot of money to put a movie into a theater. It's $2,000 per screen. In a theater. It's ridiculous. So we're trying to get money for that right now for the publishing and advertising and stuff like that. And
that's really interesting. Your parents, I guess, maybe out of necessity, or maybe it was their wish, have gotten into virtually every aspect of the motion picture business, haven't they? Is it because they started to concentrate on Christian movies and they had lower budgets? Or did they want more control, or do you have any idea? I should have asked you.
So it's never really a control issue. I'm gonna say from what I've experienced, just standing in the background witnessing it all. My family loves to be involved, and my dad, when he sees, because he's very specific in the way that he thinks the shot should go. And I mean, he's not wrong. He's been doing this for a little while. He knows a little better than a director who's on his first film, right? So he would rather, and he loves directing. He'll tell the same story. He started on Hercules. The first episode was, I think it's either The Golden Apple or The Apple. It's the first episode he ever directed, and he fell in love with it there. So getting the chance to direct his own movies has always been a blast for him. So he gets to direct, so he likes to be in front of the camera and likes to be behind. He prefers to be in front, but if he can be behind helping as well, he would love to do both, and he just wants to be involved as much as possible. Right? The more attachment he has to it, the more kind of
he's invested in it.
The more that he's invested in it, the more that he just, I don't know, it's great. And my mom, she writes it. Like, she writes the movies and stuff like that, and she's an excellent writer. She's written a couple books about homeschooling. I'm sure
we talked about one yesterday.
I was gonna say, I'm sure she talked about them. So she's written about homeschooling and everything like that, and then
and a devotional book too. She wrote.
To match Let There Be Light, and she just loves to do the writing side and the producing side of it, because she is also very precise in the way that she wants things, which is why my parents work so well together. They're both very, very accurate in how they like.
They're smart.
You know what? They are pretty smart. I'll give them that.
They are really smart, Well, they produced you.
They did.
So genetically.
Well, I'm not smart, so I don't know what.
You've proven that you are. Let's talk about, your mother brought this one up, so blame her. But we were talking about college and what's that like, and should you go to college and all that sort of thing. And she said, Braeden has a really interesting take on college. I'm supposed to ask you, so here I am asking you. Are you going to go to college, and if so, why? If so, why? If not, why not?
I'm not going to go to college, at least for this year.
Right.
Because I've been thinking about it, and I graduated early. I'm 17. I don't turn 18 I turn 18 August 22nd, which is like a month from now, so I'm super excited about that. Like, I'm really pumped. But so the way that I'm looking at what I want to do with my life and everything like that, I don't see the necessity of college, right? Because a lot of teenagers go to college because they want to get a degree, want to get a job and stuff like that, so that they can make money. And the way that I look at it is if I use every asset that I possibly can right now, before it goes away, every chance to speak, every chance to act in a film or anything to build up my own resume, then I'm wasting it, right? I need to use up all of it. If I don't have it available to me, then I would go to college, because I would say not necessarily because I'm not doing anything else, but because it's college would be used for something different than acting. A lot of kids go to college when they want to act. They want to study theater and stuff like that. If I go to college, I would major in entrepreneurship, minor in communications. Because those two business degrees are so crucial.
Success as an actor or anything,
So I would study film on the side and stuff like that, of course. But I think the most important ones would be business and entrepreneurship and communications and stuff like that. So
that makes sense.
If I'm already acting and if I'm already having my career going, right, if I've already started that, why would I put that on pause to go to college? So I'm going to see throughout the next year what happens with my career when it comes to acting and speaking and stuff like that. And then I'll make up my mind. But up until now, not going to go.
Yeah, your mom had a great line that she said you said originally, which was, I'm not going to borrow a bunch of money to go to college to get a job to pay him back. And that is so true, isn't it? We talk about a broken system. It is broken, And like I said, I have 4 kids and 9 grandkids, and I spend an awful lot of time thinking, how am I going to help them financially to get through these colleges? And it's ridiculous, My father-in-law and mother-in-law are helping their grandkids, and it's $30,000 a semester.
I know.
This is absurd.
It is crazy. It's mind-boggling. And kids say, oh, I really want to go here. It's public school 2.0.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's what it is.
You say
the
that.
public school brainwashes the kids to think, wow, you got to get into a good college, otherwise you're screwed because everything's going to crap. And if you don't have a good degree, you're going to be jobless and homeless, and you don't want that. And the kid's like, oh my gosh, I don't want that. So they do the SATs, they get to college, they spend $40,000 a year, a semester. So they rack up $160,000 in debt, and then they get a job, and then they spend the rest of the next 10, 20 years paying that debt off, along with a mortgage on a house or an apartment, or starting a family or anything like that.
Right.
And that is a massive problem with the society today. We brainwash kids into thinking that they have to go to college.
Right.
You don't have to go to college.
Right.
There are definitely things that you have to go to if you want to get a job, like as a surgeon, you have to go to medical school, right?
Yeah.
But
good idea.
To go into acting or to do anything like that, you don't necessarily need a degree.
Yeah.
Right? Unless it's absolutely crucial for the job you want, there's not really a reason to go to college right now, just because it's so financially, it's such a burden.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a bachelor's degree is often used by corporations as a screening device. You know, they just say, you don't really need one to do an entry-level job at our corporation. However, we're just going to say you need it, and then that way, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, those are becoming more and more obsolete, the need to have a degree to get a job, because people are looking at college kids that are coming out right now, millennials and stuff like that, they're thinking, wow, this degree means nothing. Why are you applying for this job? This is biomedical engineering, not French 17th century art. And they're looking at the degrees that people are getting, and they're saying, all right, taking off the requirement to have a degree to get a job with them, because they're realizing that they're more successful when the kid knows how to
think.
It's more important to know how to learn rather than to learn how to know. Like a school system teaches you to remember stuff, to write it down on a piece of paper or a test later. Homeschooling teaches you to learn things and think for yourself as to how to apply them to real life. And that's the difference.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Thank you.
We're going to take a brief break. When we come back, we're going to talk about snowflakes. We're going to talk about safe spaces. We're going to talk about everything that's wrong with millennials, because after all, you're a Gen Z.
I am a Gen Z.
And of course, what's wrong with baby boomers, because we're to blame for everything. All that stuff we're going to talk about when we get back with Braeden Sorbo right after this. The Lord has made it possible for our show, Las Vegas Tonight, to thrive. We've produced well over 300 episodes telling the remarkable stories of Christians who have set out to change the world for the better. It's my honor to lead this ministry. As the founder of Dale Davidson Ministries, I'm commanded to be a good steward of all the donations our partners have so generously provided to us. As you can imagine, it takes a great deal of money to keep this program on the air in the United States and around the world. Please prayerfully consider making a one-time donation or becoming a monthly partner of Dale Davidson Ministries. Just go to vegassaints.org and select Make a Donation, or send your check or money order made out to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada 89117. For more information, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you.
A potential audience of more than 50 million people is reached every week by Las Vegas Tonight. To keep the important message of Christ's love on the air, we need your prayers and financial blessings. Please send your tax-deductible gift to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada 89117. For a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a copy of Dale Davidson's new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You'll love these inspiring stories of Las Vegas Christians who are changing the world. Or donate to the ministry, or order Dale's book by going to vegassaints.org. That's vegassaints.org. Or call us today at 702 480-3989. That's 480-3989. God bless you.
And welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. We are interviewing Braeden Sorbo, who I think may be the most intelligent, the funniest, and the wisest 17-year-old in America. Or at least I've ever had on the show.
You're too kind. You're too kind. It's all a facade. I'm acting. I don't know.
Acting.
I don't know anything about what I'm talking about.
People don't know that. You know, that's the key.
I know.
Just keep
I gotta
talking.
keep it a secret, so don't tell anyone.
Okay, let's talk about, during the break, you told me your theory about, first of all, about flirting with girls. Now, this is an important thing that many young people are watching this now, and they want to know how to do this. How do you flirt? How do you make it work, Braeden?
How do you flirt? I feel like there are plenty of YouTube videos. I mean, that's what I learned from. You just go watch a YouTube video.
You were talking about comedy.
Flirting, I was talking about comedy and everything like that.
Yeah.
Flirting is the same thing as talking with people, and we've kind of fallen away from that as a society.
Yeah.
We've lost the idea that, like, if a guy talks to a girl at a party, he's going to be really tight. He can't say the wrong thing or anything because he's so afraid of what might happen in repercussions because of Kavanaugh and stuff like that.
Right.
People are so afraid to just have conversations. So the most important thing to do, flirting or speaking to people or speaking in general, is just to have fun with it.
Sure.
Right? If you're uptight and tense, people notice it. It's like, I like to think of it as you're talking to your dog. And I don't mean that like in a derogatory sense or anything like that, but what dogs do is they look at you for key signs. Yeah. So whatever you're feeling, whatever your emotion is, they're going to take on that emotion.
Yeah.
So if you're uptight and tense and you're yelling at the TV because the other team just scored the touchdown to win the game and you're mad, the dog is sitting in the corner like, oh yeah, screw that guy. I don't like that ref. Your dog's just as mad as you, and it builds it up. It's the same way with people. If you're tense and you are getting anything like that, people will feel that and feed off that. I mean, that's why movies and television go over so well, because when someone cries on screen and they do a really good job of they're actually crying, people feed off that and they feel sad for the person with them. So when you're speaking to anybody about anything, the most important thing to do is to relax, because by showing that you're relaxed enough to have like
they're
how
going to
we're
mirror
talking,
that. Is
exactly.
What you're saying.
Like we're friends, we're talking, we're having a good conversation, and it can flow very nicely. But if I'm sitting up here tense and I'm just kind of answering in one-word sentences and stuff like that, it's going to be a terrible interview. No one's going to have fun. No one's going to enjoy watching it. So it's all about just having fun, relaxing, conversing, whichever one.
Whatever it is.
Conversing with people, and that is the most important part that we've forgotten.
Yeah, that's true. Let's talk about jokes. You are an influencer, social media-wise.
I do jokes.
And you do a joke every day. Tell us how you got into doing that.
So, it's a platform called TikTok, and there are a bunch of skinny white dudes that are getting millions and millions of followers off of basically like looking into a camera and going like this. And they just kind of look in the camera with some slow music playing, and maybe they wink or they just smile subtly or whatever, and that gets millions of views. I thought, wow, I could do that, but I don't want to do necessarily that. Because I'm not like just a skinny short white guy. I'm pretty tall. So I'm a tall skinny white guy.
That's right.
And
you didn't fit.
I didn't fit. I also don't like to necessarily follow the path. You know, I like to beat my own path. I don't know what the phrase is. Yeah, that kind of thing. Okay. And I thought, well, what requires little effort from me that I can do that I already have practice doing? And that was just speaking.
Right.
Because I've been in competitive speech and debate for 4 years.
Oh, okay.
So I love just talking. That's my parents. That's my mom's gene. My dad has I've got the looks from him, and I have my mom's speaking, which is bad, but because we speak too much. But
your mom's good looking too.
I mean, yeah, she's all right.
Yeah.
But I got in and I thought, I'm gonna tell one joke a day because no one else is doing that.
Yeah.
I specifically looked for something that I could do that was original.
Yeah.
Right, there are people who are telling jokes on the site and stuff like that, but no one is taking the time to just look at the camera and tell one joke.
Now, are you writing them?
No. I have it in my bio that the jokes are not original content. I've been doing it for less than 3 months, and I have basically 300,000 followers. I'm
That's
a
amazing.
couple thousand away. And
wow.
It's phenomenal. And I'll post a joke, and someone will say, wow, stolen content. And I'll have 30 people go after him and say, dude, just look at his bio. They're not original. Welcome to the internet. Nothing is original.
That's the truth.
It is the truth.
That's the truth.
So I go online and I find one joke a day.
Yeah.
And I just tell it. And I have fun with it. And what I do is I specifically tell jokes that are politically incorrect, off-color jokes that people can laugh at. No one else is telling a joke about Hispanic people or Asian people or white people or anything because they're too afraid of offending someone with stereotypes.
Yeah.
I tell a joke.
It's really hard to do comedy nowadays.
I tell a joke about Hispanics. I have a Mexican joke that I love. Post it. I'll tell it.
Okay, here it comes.
For the pretext, I posted this on the page. This is my first joke that went viral. It has over 2 million views.
Okay.
It's got like 2 million hits. And I have people of color, Muslim, Hispanic, Black, whatever, commenting, we love this joke because no one else is telling it. Everyone else is too afraid to tell it. Yeah. So the joke, the real reason behind it is it's not racist. I'm not intending harm or hate towards anyone. When I tell it to laugh. So here's the joke, and I love it so much.
Here's the joke.
There's a school somewhere in South Texas, and the teacher tells her students Friday that they can leave early if they answer a question. Now, Billy loves this idea because he likes hunting, fishing, video games, biking, whatever with his friends. He just doesn't like school. So he gets ready, he sits down, gets ready to go, and the teacher says, all right, class, who, she thinks for a second, she goes, who wrote the Star-Spangled Banner? And Billy raises his hand, he knows this. So he puts his hand up, he waves it around a little bit, and she picks Juan right in the front. She goes, Juan, do you know the answer? He goes, of course, it was Francis Scott Key. She's like, very good, Juan, we'll see you at Monday. And Billy's sitting in the back, son of a gun, and he gets a little bit angry, and she says, all right, who gave the Gettysburg Address? And Billy raises his hand again, a little higher this time, please notice me, and she picks Juanita right next to Billy. And she goes, Juanita, do you know the answer? And Juanita goes, of course, it was Abraham Lincoln. And Billy goes, son of a gun, and she goes, Juanita, we'll see you Monday. And now Billy's pretty annoyed, so he gets ready, she says, who sailed across the Delaware? And Billy's on the edge of his seat. His hand is up. He's waving, pick me, pick me. And she picks Carlitos right in the front. And she goes, Carlitos, do you know the answer? And Carlitos goes, of course, it was George Washington. She goes, very good, we'll see you Monday. And at this point, Billy's had it. He goes, where'd all these Mexicans come from? And the teacher hears him. And she goes, who said that? And he goes, Davy Crockett at the Alamo, I'll see you Monday.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I love those jokes because they're just such great ones to tell.
Yeah, and if people can have a sense of humor about themselves, a joke like that works. Mm-hmm. You know,
people are trying to get rid of.
And Hispanics probably love that joke.
They did. I had people commenting. You said Carlitos correctly. You did it perfectly. We love it. This is such a great joke. And I'm like, thank you. You realize that I have no hate towards Mexican people. I love to make jokes about everyone. Yeah. So the way that I look at it is, if I'm racist towards everyone. I make fun of. No one is safe. I make fun of everyone.
It's so weird, you know that.
The hate.
Yeah, and I have stand-up comic friends, and they're great at what they do, but they tell me the only thing we can really talk about is old people. So ageism is okay, and fat people because they are frowned upon, and smokers and things. But other than that, if
they make fun of a race, they can only make fun of white people.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yep.
Yeah.
There are very few comedians that I know that will actually make fun of everyone, which I love.
Yes,
and those comedians I support wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
but with these jokes, I have fun with them, right? So people can tell there's no ill intent behind them.
Yeah.
Right. There's no.
It's a joke, folks.
It's a joke, and that's the attack that's happening right now because it's comedy.
Yeah.
Mark Twain, against the assault of laughter, nothing can withstand. That's his quote.
That's a great quote.
It's a great quote. And you know what socialism and communism can't take? Laughter. I mean, that was Steven Crowder's T-shirt, the fig tree.
Oh,
Socialism is for figs. Remember that with the Che Guevara with the limp wrist? So people say, oh, that's a slur and stuff like that. It's not. It says figs, and the reason behind it is, I'll just say really quickly, Che Guevara was a communist dictator, for those of you who don't know, who killed his fair share of people, because, you know, communism.
Yeah.
So the reason, if you don't know the shirt, it says socialism is for figs, but the I is replaced with a fig leaf, very tiny, so it looks like it could be a slur.
Right.
And the reason behind that is Che Guevara was captured at La Higuera, which is known as, translates to the fig tree.
Okay.
And the other reason behind it is because Jesus in Matthew 22 or 18, chapter 18, verse 22, cursed a fig tree for not bearing fruit. Socialism doesn't bear fruit either, so there's a double entendre, and it is a brilliant shirt, and it's comedic, and that's what people hate about it, because laughter is the enemy. I mean, we see all this PC correctness, like you said, with your friends who can't tell jokes that make fun of anyone other than smokers, obese people, old people, fat, whatever.
Yeah.
They can't make fun of anyone other than those specific categories.
Certainly any racial stuff.
But I mean, they've already given up the racial boundaries, right?
Yeah.
They could do whatever they want now. They've started inching forward. Eventually, you're not going to be able to make fun of obese people.
Yeah,
you're not going to be not able to make fun of smokers. And comedy is gone.
Yeah.
Because what else is there to laugh at?
Yeah, that's the end.
The whole point
we can't laugh at ourselves.
Nope. The whole point of comedy is to escape reality and laugh at yourself and other people without meaning harm.
Yes, indeed.
That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
Comedy is an escape where you could say things that you will not say to people to personally attack them. You say it to make people laugh. So you go to a comedy club and someone makes a joke about cops and black people or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
And you think, oh, that was funny. But the problem is you're not allowed to say that anymore because, wow, that was racial tonality and racist and all these things. And they get rid of it. And people say, no, that's not what the intention behind it is.
That's not the intention was. Yeah.
People forget that, and that's the problem.
That's good.
So that's what my joke page tries to bring back. I've gotten shadow banned.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the numbers.
Was it Twitter that you were telling the jokes on?
No, TikTok.
On TikTok. You did tell me
so
that.
TikTok is shadow banning me right now, and I know because if you have 290,000, 300,000 followers that know they follow you and they know you're posting one video a day, you're going to get at least half of them to come back daily.
Yeah.
My jokes are getting less than 100,000 views when before I had 200,000 followers, they were getting over 300,000 views. So there was some sort of weird shadow ban going on.
Yeah.
And every time I put in the comments, hey, I'm being shadow banned, guys, so please keep sharing, the video skyrockets because they see me calling them out and take it off. Be like, oh no, we're not doing, don't mind us, we're not doing anything.
There you go. Why are snowflakes snowflakes? And are they just millennials and you guys are not going to have this problem? Or
we're not going to have this problem. Well, see, okay, a snowflake, I can't get into the brain space of that. I say the mind, but I mean, they don't necessarily have one of those.
The cranium. Yeah.
It's the same thing as the attack on comedy.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of everything and anything. There was a book by, I think it was Ayn Rand, Anthem, I think was the name.
Okay.
And the book is it's a futuristic novel.
Right.
Where every person, comedy is gone, fun is gone. Everyone works a job, and they don't have names anymore because names are too personal. So your name is Liberty 3562, and then they have Medallion 4783 or whatever. So you identify as a word and some numbers. That is how they mark you. They tag you like that.
Right.
Comedy is disbanded. You're set to your job. We go basically back to the Roman era of class system, where you're born into poor, you're poor, done. No moving. You're born into the middle class, can't get out, can't go below, whatever. That's what the book is. It's like George Orwell's 1984. It's a prediction of the future.
Right.
And the scary thing is if we keep on the track with the snowflakes,
we're headed that way.
It's going to come true. And that's not necessarily what we want to do.
Yes.
Because I don't know about you, but I like the idea that in America you could start out dirt poor and become filthy rich if you work hard enough.
Yeah.
Right? That's the beautiful thing.
It is. Let's talk a little bit about faith and Christianity. You were raised as a Christian. Mm-hmm. You have friends who are and friends who aren't, right?
Yes.
Yeah, show us.
Of course, I have my little cross here.
Got his cross on, Why should someone your age let's put it that way, who has not been exposed perhaps by their parents or at home or by a church, why should they be Christians?
You don't ever force, Christians don't usually force beliefs on anyone. So it's more of a open your eyes, right? Whether you believe in another religion or the Big Bang or anything, you look at the complexity and you have to think that there was a maker. Like, take my chapstick, for example.
Right.
Someone made this, right?
Sure.
It didn't just poof into existence. My shirt, it was made by someone.
Sure.
It didn't poof into existence.
Right.
Why, if the Big Bang exists, this is just to say that, why if the Big Bang exists, is there not a watch popping up on this table right now? Or
Right.
something popping up in the next room?
Right.
Someone has to design something, right? Like with a car. The engine didn't just come into existence. Someone had to intricately design it piece by piece.
Sure.
Humans are intricately designed. You look at the eye, 200,000 rods and cones that all work perfectly so you could see color,
Yeah.
along with hundreds of thousands of other things in the eyeball alone
Right.
to make it so that you can see.
Right.
And you try to say that there isn't a brilliant creator behind it all is mind-boggling. So for me, it really is, it's a faith aspect, right? Like, you believe in Jesus, you believe in redemption, and you believe that there is a heaven and a hell and a Satan who's trying
Right.
to destroy you.
everything, yeah.
It is a factor of that. But the other thing is, you look at the science behind it. I mean, there's no possible way that we would be so intricately designed all by chance. And the problem is, if we are designed by chance, then nothing matters. We can do whatever the hell we want, because morals are a social construct.
Yes.
If there is a God, however, we get our morals from Him. That is why we know it is wrong to stab someone, or
Right.
to rob a house, or to do any of these things, because we have a moral compass built into us that shows us the difference between right and wrong.
Sure.
And that's just my take on it, right? But that is the way that I've always perceived it. You look at it from the scientific standpoint, which not many people do. Everyone's like, oh, wow, you're Christ, Jesus guy, you got to go follow him every Sunday and drink his blood and stuff. And and you have communion.
Yeah.
But in the church, there is such, I would say welcoming, like homeschooling, because homeschooling and Christianity often go hand in hand. But there's such a welcoming aspect of it that it's really hard to shy away from, right? There are bad Christians, just like there are bad people in the world. There are people that aren't really actually Christian or anything, that pretend to be for whatever benefits Christians get. I don't think there are very many anymore nowadays. But
Yeah.
it's just, you just look at it, you make up your own mind. I'm not going to impose my beliefs on anyone, because you do that, it's like conversation. If I go to tell you what you're doing is wrong, why are you going to listen to me?
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
If a golf expert tells me what's wrong, I'm going to listen to him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if some random guy comes up to me on the golf course and says, hey, your swing is wrong, I'm going to say,
Who are you?
okay, cool, thanks. Right? Because you dig your heels in. That's what humans are built to do.
Yeah.
So if some teenage kid, tries to say, hey, you got to follow Christianity because God loves you, you're going to say, wow, really? That's the best you got? But if I say if you think of it yourself, right, all it takes is to get the idea that there could be something out there, right? And people say Christianity is restricting and stuff like that. It's not.
Yeah.
All you have to do is not be a bad person. Like, you just have to not kill people and rob people and have affairs.
Yeah.
Right? You have to say, all right, I believe in this Jesus guy. I think that he lived. It's proven that he lived.
Oh, yeah,
Even the Quran admits that Jesus was a person who walked the earth.
Right.
Right? Whether or not he was God, people are debating. But you think of it and you just think, what if the chance is that he's right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what if God does exist and there is a heaven and you believe it and then you get to go? And then you think, what if it's wrong? What if there is no heaven? What if there's nothing?
Right.
Okay? So you spent your life being a good person to other people.
Yeah. What did you lose exactly?
What did you lose?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it really gets to the aspect of you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You know?
That's great.
Whether you secretly go to church and don't tell anyone you're a Christian, or whether you go to church and say, hey, I'm a Christian.
Right.
You don't have anything to lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
If anything, you grow because you learn to appreciate things more.
Sure.
Right? So you look at everything, you say, wow, that is beautiful.
That is beautiful.
The fact that, like, tarantula hawks know not to kill a tiny frog and to let it live in their burrow with them, because the frog has been designed to eat the insects that are going to destroy the tarantula's eggs.
Right.
That's an accident. I mean, just how it all works.
Yeah.
Birds eat seeds, then fly around pooping them and planting trees randomly. Squirrels forget where they bury their nuts and a new tree comes up.
Yeah.
Like, it's too coincidental in my mind to not be true.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Well done. Talk about your podcast, and then we got to wrap things up.
All right, we'll talk about
It's been an hour already.
Wow, I talk fast.
Yeah, you got a lot. You got a lot said, young man.
I did. Thank you. So the podcast is a political podcast with my good friend Vittoria Dedesi, who has, I forgot the hat. No, I'm an awful person. They have a clothing line called COL 1972, Culture of Life.
Okay.
Which, this is an awesome plug, so Dedesis, if you're watching, I love you guys. COL 1972 was the last year abortion was illegal.
That's right.
So it's Culture of Life 1972.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's not anti-abortion in your face. It just says life is amazing. And the hat says 1972. It's a good conversation starter, and it's a good company. If you support it, 10% of the proceeds go to funding pro-life groups and stuff like that. And they fund our or they support our podcast. They're a sponsor of our podcast. And the podcast is 5 to 15 minutes long, so it's easy episodes for teenagers to watch or listen to in the car on Apple Podcasts, stuff like that. And we have a blast. It's not a serious, like, hey, man, we're going to be super serious, or we're going to be, you guys, America, screw, we're doing this. We're going to have fun. We're just going to talk, and we're going to have fun. So it's called Mindset with Braeden and Vit. You could find us on YouTube.
Okay.
If you go to my Instagram, which is Braeden.
Okay.
Sorbo. If you look that up on Instagram, Braeden Sorbo, you'll find links to everything in my bio.
And Vit as well.
And Vit as well. Well, you go to the podcast page, her stuff is all there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
What a wonderful guy you are.
Thank you. It was a blast to be on, so thank you for having me.
And next movie you do, I want you to come and promote it.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I might have one coming up soon, so
really?
If you're watching, pray for me, because it'd be really cool.
Okay. Braeden Sorbo, ladies and gentlemen, super young guy. There's hope for America. That's all I have to say. Young guys like Braeden is terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching Las Vegas Tonight from Freedom Fest here at the Paris Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. God bless you, and as I try to remember to say each and every episode, when it comes to Jesus Christ, please walk with Him. God bless you. The Lord has made it possible for our show, Las Vegas Tonight, to thrive. We've produced well over 300 episodes telling the remarkable stories of Christians who have set out to change the world for the better. It's my honor to lead this ministry. As the founder of Dale Davidson Ministries, I'm commanded to be a good steward of all the donations our partners have so generously provided to us. As you can imagine, it takes a great deal of money to keep this program on the air in the United States and around the world. Please prayerfully consider making a one-time donation or becoming a monthly partner of Dale Davidson Ministries. Just go to vegassaints.org and select Make a Donation, or send your check or money order made out to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada 89117. For more information, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you.
You've been watching Las Vegas Tonight with Dale Davidson. Send your tax-deductible gifts to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Or call 702-480-3989. Thanks for watching.
Social Media Shows is a production company based here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We offer these services. We've been streaming shows live in real time for over 4 years on major social media platforms and also on our website socialmediashows.com. And we are now on Roku TV. We welcome you to have your own show on our TV network. Call us 651-955-8743 or email us at admin@socialmediashows.com.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.